Scania Aktiebolag, commonly referred to as Scania AB or just Scania, is a major Swedish automotive industry manufacturer of commercial vehicles, specifically heavy trucks and buses. It also manufactures diesel engines for motive power of heavy vehicles, marine, and general industrial applications. Founded in 1891 in Malmö, in the Swedish province of Scania, the company's head office has been in Södertälje, in the province of Södermanland, since 1912. Today, Scania has production facilities in Sweden, France, Netherlands, Argentina, Brazil, Poland, and Russia. In addition, there are assembly plants in 10 countries in Africa, Asia and Europe. Scania's sales and service organization and finance companies are worldwide. In 2012, the company employed approximately 38,600 people around the world. Scania was listed on the NASDAQ OMX Stockholm stock exchange from 1996 to 2014. Scania's logo shows a griffin, from the coat of arms of the province of Scania. History. Scania AB came from a merger between the two companies. Vabis and Scania. Vabis and Scania. Vabis was founded in 1891 as a subsidiary of Södertälje-based steel company Surahammarsbruk, manufacturing railway carriages. In 1902, engineer Gustaf Eriksson designed the company's first truck, powered by a petrol engine and two-speed gearbox. A year later, the first order was placed for a Vabis commercial vehicle. By 1907, the company had developed a 3-ton truck. However, though it won a Swedish Royal Automobile Club award in 1909, the new range was a financial disaster for the company, failing to attract more than a handful of orders. Maskinfabriks Aktiebolaget Scania was founded in 1900 in Malmö in the south of Sweden, and was in the beginning a manufacturer of bicycles, but by 1903 the first cars left the factory. 2 years later, Scania built their first truck. Following the financial problems at Vabis, the companies merged in 1911, creating AB Scania Vabis. Engine and car production was moved to Södertälje, and truck production took place in Malmö. First World War. 1920s, for the next few years the company's profits stagnated, with around a third of their orders coming from abroad. The outbreak of the First World War, however, changed the company, with almost all output being diverted to the Swedish Army. By 1916, Scania Vabis was making enough profit to invest in redeveloping both of their production facilities. Following the war, in 1919, Scania decided to focus completely on building trucks, abandoning other outputs including cars and buses. However, they were hurt by the swamping of the market with decommissioned military vehicles from the war, and by 1921 the company was bankrupt. After some economic difficulties in 1921, new capital came from Stockholm's Enskilda Bank owned by the Wallenberg family, and Scania Vabis became a solid and technically high-standing company. Denmark. Towards the end of 1913, the company established a subsidiary in Denmark. The following year the first Danish-built car, a 4-seater Phaeton, was built at the company's Frederiksberg factory in Copenhagen. In 1914, the factory produced Denmark's first Scania Vabis truck, and following this developed a V8 engine, one of the first in the world. In 1921, having sold around 175 trucks, and 75 cars, the Danish operation was closed down. 1930s and 1940s. During the Second World War Scania produced a variety of military vehicles for the Swedish Army, including Stridsvagn M/41 light tanks produced under license. 1950s and 1960s. During the 1950s, the company expanded its operations into new customer segments, becoming agents for the Willys Jeep and the Volkswagen Beetle, the latter being very profitable for Scania Vabis. It also started to become a genuine competitor to Volvo with their new Regent truck which was introduced in 1954. During this period, Scania Vabis expanded its dealer network and countrywide specialist workshop facilities. By the end of the 50s, their market share in Sweden was between 40 to 50%, and was achieving 70% in the heaviest truck sector helped by the entrepreneurial efforts of their dealers into the haulier market. Probably their largest impact was in export markets. Before 1950, exports accounted for only 10% of production output, but a decade later, exports were now at 50% of output. Beers in the Netherlands became a very important partner. Beers became official importers for Scania Vabis in the Netherlands, and established a dealer network, along with training programs for both mechanics and drivers. Beers also offered free twice-yearly overhauls of their customers' vehicles, and offered a mobile service throughout the Netherlands with their custom-equipped service trucks. Due to Beers' concerted efforts, Scania Vabis' market share in the country remained at a consistent 20% throughout this period. Scania Vabis were to adopt the business model of Beers in their own overseas sales operations. The 1960s saw Scania Vabis expanding its production operations into overseas locations. Until now, all Scania Vabis production had been carried out solely at ZAR paragraph Delta Currency, but the 60s saw the need to expand production overseas. Brazil was becoming a notable market for heavy trucks, and was also dependent on interurban buses, with particular requirement for Brazil's mountainous roads which became nigh on impassable at times. Scania Vabis products had already been assembled in Brazil by a local company called VMAG, but Scania Vabis do Brasil, SA became an independent operation in July 1960. Scania Vabis established its first production plant outside ZAR paragraph Delta Currency by building a new facility at ZAR Pondo Bernardo do Campo in Brazil, which was completed in 1962, and this was to set the standard for Scania Vabis international operations. Closer to home, the recently formed European Economic Community offered further opportunities. Based on their now strong presence in the Dutch markets, Scania Vabis constructed a new plant in Zwolle, which was completed in 1964. This new Dutch facility provided Scania Vabis with a stepping stone into the other 5 EEC countries, particularly the German and French markets. In 1966, Scania Vabis acquired ownership of a then valuable competitor BGE Carrosseriefabriek, who were based in Oskarshamn. BGE had been making truck cabs since 1946, and had been supplying cabs not only to Scania Vabis, but also to their Swedish competitors Volvo. It was normal practice for truck manufacturers to outsource production of cabs to independent bodybuilders, so their acquisition by Scania Vabis seemed a good move. BGE owner Brogar Paragraph the person had also established an additional cab factory at Meppel. Scania Vabis continued their expansion of production facilities through acquisitions. In 1967, they acquired Katrineholm-based coachwork company Svenska Karosseriverkstad Currency Dana, and created a new subsidiary, Scania Bussar. A year later, all bus production, along with R&D, was moved to Katrineholm. Further production locations were added at Sapult and Falun, and Scania's employee numbers rose, particularly at ZAR paragraph Delta Currency, which was to help double the town's population. Saab Scania AB. In 1969, Scania VABIS merged with Saab, and formed Saab Scania AB. When Saab Scania was split in 1995, the name of the truck and bus division changed simply to Scania AB. 1 year later, Scania AB was introduced on the stock exchange, which resulted in a minor change of name to Scania AB. Many examples of Scania Vabis and Scania Vabis commercial and military vehicles can be seen at the Marcus Wallenberg Hallen in ZAR paragraph Delta Currency. Ownership, aborted Volvo takeover. On August 7, 1999, Volvo announced it had agreed to acquire a majority share in Scania. Volvo was to buy the 49.3% stake in Scania that was owned by Investor AB, Scania's then main shareholder. The acquisition, for $7.5 billion, would have created the world's second-largest manufacturer of heavy trucks, behind Daimler Chrysler. The cash for the deal came from Volvo selling its car division to Ford Motor Company in January 1999, but the deal had yet to be approved by the European Union. The deal eventually failed, after the European Union had disapproved of the affair. saying it would create a company with almost 100% market share in the Nordic markets. Aborted MAN takeover. In September 2006, the German truck maker MAN AG launched a 10.3 billion hostile offer to acquire Scania AB. Scania's CEO Leif Sting was forced to apologize for comparing the bid of MAN to a blitzkrieg. MAN AG later dropped its hostile offer, but in January 2008, MAN increased their voting rights in Scania up to 17%. Scania ownership today. The two major stockholders of Scania AB are, the German automotive company Volkswagen AG is Scania's biggest shareholder, with a 70.94% voting stake in Scania. It gained this by first buying Volvo's stake in 2000, after the latter's aborted takeover attempt, increasing it to 36.4% in the first quarter 2007, and then buying the remainder from investor AB in March 2008. The deal was approved by regulatory bodies in July 2008. Scania then became the ninth marque in the Volkswagen Group. The German truck manufacturer MAN SE holds a 17.37% voting stake in Scania. Notably, Volkswagen AG also owns 75.03% of MAN. Current shareholders. Scania AB has a total issue of 400 million A shares and 400 million B shares, with a total capitalized value of circa 72,880 million. In terms of voting rights, 1A share is eligible for one vote, whereas 10B shares are required for one vote. As of January 29, 2010, these shares, as published by Swedish Central Securities Depository and Clearing Organization, are allocated to 119,973 owners, and the table below details the top 10 shareholders. Further to the shares listed above, Volkswagen AG also holds shares in trust by a credit institution of Scania, which gives additional voting rights amounting to 0.87% and an equity interest of 3.63% attributable to Volkswagen AG, as disclosed in January 2009. Products: Scania develops, manufactures and sells trucks with a gross vehicle weight of more than 16 tons, intended for long-distance haulage, regional, and local distribution of goods, as well as construction haulage. Scania's bus range is concentrated on bus chassis, intended for use in tourist coaches, as well as urban and intercity traffic. Scania's industrial and marine engines are used in generator sets and in earth-moving and agricultural machinery, as well as on board ships and pleasure crafts. Scania also designs and manufacture clothes especially designed for truckers under the label Scania Truck Gear. Current trucks/special vehicles, P-Series are Eurotypical applications are regional and local distribution, construction, and various specialized operations associated with locally based transportation and services. P-Series trucks have the new P-cabs, which are available in three variations, a single-berth sleeper, a spacious day cab and a short cab. G-Series are The G-Series models offer an enlarged range of options for operators engaged in national long-haul and virtually all types of construction applications. All models have a G-cab, and each is available as a tractor or rigid. The G-Series truck comes with 5 cab variants, 3 sleepers, a day cab and a short cab. There are different axle configurations, and in most cases a choice of chassis height and suspension. R-Series The R-Series model range debuted in 2004, and won the prestigious International Truck of the Year award in 2005 and again in 2010. The range offers various trucks optimized for long haulage. All models have a Scania A cab, and each vehicle is available as a tractor or rigid. There are different axle configurations and a choice of chassis height and suspension. The Scania R730 is the most powerful variant of the R-Series. Its 16.4-litre DC-16 turbo diesel V8 engine produces 730 PS at 1,900 rpm and 3,500 Nm of torque at 1,000 1,350 rpm. The R-Series also came as a limited edition plus, the most common being the R420 Plus, with 100 being sold across Europe. This came with a new Opti-Cruise gearbox with a trial gear ratio. It also came with an added microwave from the dealer. It's believed the sales were mainly in Sweden, but as many as 10 per country elsewhere. Buses. F-Series, front-engine bus chassis with Euro 3 and Euro V compliant engines. K-Series, rear-engine bus chassis with Euro 3, Euro 6 compliant engines. N-Series, rear-engine bus chassis with Euro 3, Euro 6 compliant engines. Omni-Link, Citybus using the K-Series chassis. Omni-City, Citybus using the N-Series chassis. Omni-Express, Intercity Coach using the K-Series chassis. Citywide LE Citywide Loaf, new Citybus range superseded the Omni-City and Omni-Link in left-hand drive markets, using respectively the N-Series and K-Series chassis. Diesel engines. Scania's involvement with internal combustion engine production dates back to 1897, when engineer Gustav Eriksson designed the engine for the company's first motor car. Over the subsequent years, Scania has grown to be one of the world's most experienced engine manufacturers, building engines not only for trucks and buses, but also for marine and general industrial applications, which are exported across the globe. Historical. Buses. Trucks, special vehicles. Diesel engines. Production sites. The table below shows the locations of the current and former production facilities of Scania AB. As Scania is now majority owned by Volkswagen AG, making it part of Volkswagen Group, the table also includes Volkswagen Group references. Notes: the second column of the table, the factory VAN ID code, is indicated in the 11th digit of the vehicle's 17-digit vehicle identification number, and this factory code is only assigned to plants which produce actual vehicles. Component factories which do not produce complete vehicles do not have this factory ID code. See also. Category: Scania AB, INAX, holding company created after an attempted acquisition of Scania by Volvo. Marcus Wallenberg Hallen, Swedish Vehicle Museum, including Scania vehicles. Scania Torped, concept car. List of Volkswagen Group diesel engines, includes all current Scania engines. References. External links. Official website, Scania Group's photo stream.